What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to the launch week for Black Ops 6. The next installment in the Call of Duty franchise is fast approaching, and the hype and excitement around this game seems to be growing by the second. So many people in this community cannot wait to get their hands on Black Ops 6, some of which are even spending as much as $5,000 to get the game early. That sounds pretty crazy, right? Just to get a few extra days of playing the game, you're willing to spend $5,000. But wait, this isn't Black Ops 1, this isn't Black Ops 2. The entire game is online, and the servers don't go online until later this week. So those that spent $500, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, looking at you, Aiden Ross, are unable to play the game until the game launches on Thursday. Seems to be kind of funny, if I'm going to be completely honest. I know the trick used to work back in the day, but the game wasn't completely online back in the day. Campaign and zombies you could play offline. You can't do that anymore. So it's sort of funny that some people spend upwards of $5,000. I know it's not a lot in their world, but it is a lot to me, to buy something and not do any research about it whatsoever. Like, it would have taken a minute, 2 minutes to do a little bit of research to find out that, hey, Black Ops 6 isn't going to be playable, regardless of if you have the disc or not, until it launches. But nonetheless, I digress. Let's get back to why this community is so excited for the launch of Black Ops 6. And some of this is going to be personal opinion, and some of this is going to be what I'm seeing and reading from this community. Because I'm not the biggest beacon of hype or excitement for this game. I'm trying to temper my expectations, trying to be cautiously optimistic about Black Ops 6. But I totally understand why the community is so excited. I totally understand why there is so much hype for this game. So let's dive into it. One of the first things that people talk about whenever they mention Black Ops 6 is Omni movement. It was very clear from the first day that the Black Ops 6 beta released that the community fell in love with the new movement system that Black Ops 6 had to offer. Sure, it had its detractors, myself included, but I completely understand why people love the new movement system. It adds a new layer to the gameplay experience. It's something that is innovative and different for this franchise. And it seems that at times when Call of Duty wants to remain stagnant, its best course of action is to try to be a little bit different. And that's what they're doing with the Omni movement system. And people love the speed of play that it adds to the game. And the fact that you just have total control over your player, it just feels a little bit more realistic. It feels like you have total control over your player, which is not something that you've been able to have before. At times, maybe the movements felt clunky or janky. That's not the case with Omni movement. It's very smooth, it's very fluid, and honestly, it adds a variable to the gameplay, to every single gunfight. You're always going to have this at your disposal, and those that can master it are truly going to increase the skill gap over those that only want to have a basic understanding and implementation of it throughout their gameplay. And having this skill gap, having something to learn when the game first comes out is massive for the overall experience of the player, because you can actually see yourself, understand it, and get better with it in real time. It was like when they first implemented advanced movement into Call of Duty. Those that learned it and mastered it, they gained a massive satisfaction in being able to utilize it to gain an advantage over their opponents. And I think we're going to see that here in Black Ops 6 as well. And I think it's also important to note that with Black Ops 6, Omni movement isn't just restricted to multiplayer. It's throughout campaign, it's going to be utilized in zombies, so you're going to be able to utilize this new movement system in a wealth of different situations. And I think that's fantastic for the game. I think it's going to really allow the game to feel extremely different and unique from other Call of Duty installments. And that's definitely something that this franchise needs after MW2 and MW3 releasing back to back. As much as MW3 wrote some wrongs that MW2 introduced, it still wasn't enough to prevent that game from feeling like a reimagining of the game that released a year prior. And Black Ops 6 is sort of this brand new starting point for the franchise again, where once again it can feel a little bit more fresh, it can feel a little bit different, and it doesn't have that same sort of restrictions that MW3 had, because it had to lean so heavily on MW2, partly because of the restricted development time that Sledgehammer Games was given. And I love the fact that we're not going to have a bunch of bloat in this game that's from previous iterations. We're not going to have a ton of attachments, a ton of weapons. We're not going to be forced to implement a ton of maps that we saw last year into this game. It's going to feel like a brand new experience day one. Omni movement lends itself to that, and of course, the fact that we get a brand new campaign that we don't know the story of. We don't know what's going to happen. I think that's fantastic. And in addition to that, we get this brand new zombies experience. But not just one brand new zombies experience, two of them. And one of them where Treyarch listened to the community and said, we need to change this up and improve it. And it's very clear that Liberty Falls went through a massive facelift between Call of Duty Next and today. And that sets the precedent for the future. Because if Treyarch listened once, we hope they can continue to listen and improve their game. And this lends itself to another reason why people are excited for this game. It's a Treyarch Black Ops game after all. Look at the track record of this studio. Look at the track record of this franchise. It's pretty positive. It's a franchise filled with bangers. It's a franchise filled with incredible, memorable moments throughout the campaign in Zombies. I don't expect anything different here, especially with 4 years of development. I know that I've criticized it in the past, but I'm hoping that those 4 years seep through the campaign and the zombies and we really see the true vision from Treyarch. Because I think that's what this community desperately needs. I know that Black Ops Cold War wasn't everyone's cup of tea. I truly, honestly love that game even to this day. It has its flaws, and I'm very open about the fact that there are a ton of flaws in that game. But to its core, it's at least developed with some passion. It has some memorable moments a part of it. And if Black Ops 6 can build on that passion, build on the memories that Black Ops Cold War tried to instill in this community, I think we're set up for a pretty good year of Call of Duty. I mean, look at the way the community responded to the release of the prestige icons in Black Ops 6. They got hyped up about that. It was spread across social media, and people are excited and picking out which ones are their favorites already. Can you tell that this community is ready for classic prestige to return? I know I am, and I'm sure all of you are as well. And something that I pulled out of that prestige icon reveal is that they're trying to send us a message that this is more of a love letter to the Black Ops franchise more than anything else, considering most of the icons are from memorable aspects of this franchise already. And that's great. Maybe this entire game is more of a love letter to this franchise and to this community more so than anything else. And I'm all for that. But to end this video on a little bit more of a somber note, something that I do want to elaborate on in a future video this week is don't let all of your excitement and hype cloud your judgment and prevent you from seeing flaws with this game when it releases. That's what I'm going to leave you with. But let's move back to the positive, and I want to hear from you about what's making you the most excited for the launch of Black Ops 6. Leave a comment down below to let me know. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.